So today let us look at the functioning of CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. Let us look at how CBI functions, what are the controversies in recent times, and what can be done. As you know, yeah. Pardon? India and SCV, I think we have discussed most of the things, I think. It still is not completed? Okay, okay. Right, okay. Yeah, I think first one thing we have spoken about is terrorism. Yeah. Second is climate change. Climate change. Second one is climate change. In this summit, joint statement on tackling climate change was also signed. Joint statement on tackling climate change was also signed. Joint statement on tackling climate change was also signed. This is what India is going to benefit out of SCO, especially in the recent summit. Third one is India will be heading a joint working group. India will be heading a joint working group on innovation startups. On innovations startups. On innovation startups. Next, Varanasi was declared as the tourist and cultural capital of Varanasi was declared as the tourist and cultural capital of SCO in 2022-23. Varanasi was declared as the tourist and cultural capital of SCO in 2022-23. Next, induction of Iran. Induction of Iran and Belarus as members. Belarus, B-A-L-A-R-U-S, Belarus as members. Induction of Iran as full member from next year onwards. An agreement was also reached regarding Belarus. Next, dialogue partner status. Dialogue partner status was given to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt. Dialogue partner status in SCO was given to these countries, and agreement was also reached regarding. Maldives, Myanmar, Kuwait, Bahrain and UAE. Bahrain and UAE, United Arab Emirates. So these were all significant multilateral benefits that India has being the member of SCO. Next, bilaterals. How this SCO summit helped India bilaterally. How this SCO summit has helped India bilaterally. First, Indian Prime Minister he stressed that stressed that the era of war is over. Era of war is over. Indian, pardon, era of war is over. War is over. That is what even you must have seen yesterday also. France and America also have endorsed India's opinion. Second, Prime Minister also met Iranian President. Regarding Chabahar port and energy ties. Energy ties. Chabahar port and energy ties with Iran. Chabahar, C-H-A-B-A-H-A-R. You must have heard about these things. Yes. In dreams? No. Otherwise also. Oh, you have visited there also. Very good. Right. You have visited those places also, first-hand experience. Very good. Right. Next, Turkey President also met Prime Minister and discussed Jammu and Kashmir, bilateral trade and tourism. Bilateral trade and tourism. And then our Prime Minister also met Uzbekistan President. Our Prime Minister also met Uzbekistan President and discussed SCO, trade, IT, SCO, trade, IT, connectivity and Chabahar port. Trade, IT, SCO, connectivity. Right? This is all what we call positives. Right? What are the challenges? Finally, we can see the challenges and we can end the discussion. First and foremost, India has to do a difficult balancing act. India will have to do a difficult balancing act. Difficult balancing act by being a part of multiple military alliances. By being part of multiple military alliances. On the one hand, Quad, QUAD, quadrilateral, and then SCO. And SCO. On the one hand, you have Quad, anti-Chinese Western alliance, and on the other hand, you have SCO, anti-Western alliance. This kind of difficult balancing act. If you happen to read, I think Indian Express day before yesterday, Raja Mohan has written about all these things. You have to do difficult balancing act. So in the name of pleasing everyone, you might be, annoying every person also. That is where the problem is. At the end of the day, you have to look at your own self-interest also. That is what we say. Right? And next, challenge is standing shoulder to shoulder with the dictators. Standing shoulder to shoulder with the dictators versus democracies. Shoulder to shoulder with the dictators versus democracies. China dictatorship, Russia dictatorship, Turkey dictatorship, and we are dictatorship. So we don't need to worry. So we don't have to worry. Those who are democratic like Pakistan talk about all these things, right? Next, inbuilt rivalries in the SCO. Inbuilt rivalries in the SCO. Inbuilt rivalries in the SEO between India and China, between India and China, and between India and Pakistan, between India and Pakistan, between Pakistan and Afghanistan, between Pakistan and Afghanistan, and between Central Asian republics. Between Central Asian republics. So you have to deal with all these kind of internal conflicts, right? For example, Indian Prime Minister and Pakistani Prime Minister did not even shake hands, did not stand next to next. And of course, our Prime Minister and Chinese Premier, they were standing next to next, but they were not even looking at each other also. And they were not even shaking hands. Go back to those days when they were sitting on a swing and swinging also, right? So that is what happens. It becomes difficult. And last but not least, there is so much of talk on terrorism. There is so much of talk on terrorism in SEO, but there is no walking on. There is only talking but no walking, right? Immediately after the summit was over, immediately after the summit was over, China has blocked the proposal to designate. It has blocked the proposal to designate Sajid Mir as a global terrorist, right? Sajid Mir as a global terrorist. You must have seen these things in the newspapers. Next challenge here is, in spite of severe floods in Pakistan, Pakistan has not even asked for India's assistance. Pakistan has not even asked for India's assistance. And Pakistan's participation in next year's summit in India, what is it? Is doubtful whether the Pakistan will participate or not, right? So how do we conclude about these kind of summits? How do we conclude? Political differences, territorial boundaries and disputes, political differences, territorial boundaries and disputes, and sovereignty issues, cannot be resolved with these summits. They cannot be resolved with these summits. But at the same time, they can help in improving trade, investment, energy, connectivity, people to people contacts, and revive the power of revive the power of common geography and shared boundaries. Common geography and shared boundaries. Revive the power of common geography and shared boundaries. This is what we say about right these summits. I think we have covered it extensively. That should be more than enough. Yeah. Nothing. You are spending a lot of money. Nothing. You are a host means it gives you in that particular summit. It gives you some kind of advantage over others, because when others are coming to your house, they cannot be criticizing you within your house, and they will try to help you to reach some of the agreements also. That is the reason why hosting these summits will become important. Yeah, agenda is set by the host committee, host country, but again, it will set the agenda in consultation with the other countries only. You cannot be doing it unilaterally. For example, India cannot say that in the next SCO summit, SCO will declare Pakistan as a terrorist state. Right? It will be set in consultation with other countries. So let us move on to the next important topic, as I have mentioned, is CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. Why this is important? As we know, in recent times, there is so much of controversy regarding the functioning of CBI. Indian Express newspaper, you must have seen, had come out with front page articles also talking about how many cases have been filed by CBI in recent times against opposition parties. Right? When Congress party was in power, CBI was called Congress Bureau of Investigation. Right? So let us see why the CBI had come into existence, what exactly is the problem, and what can be the solutions. Please remember, this topic is there in our internal security as well as law and order in our public administration also. Right? So let us see what is the CBI. CBI is the premier investigative agency of India. It is the premier investigation agency of India. It operates under the Ministry of Personnel. It operates under the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. Ministry of Personnel, PERSONNEL, Public Grievances and Pensions. Right? Public Grievances and Pensions. Earlier it was under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Right now it is under the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. Yesterday you must have seen Mamata Banerjee. She said that Narendra Modi was not responsible for all the cases against her and her government. It was Amit Shah, and she said that all these agencies work under Amit Shah. No, they work under Prime Minister only directly. CBI, who is the this Minister of Personnel, who is the Cabinet Minister? Prime Minister only. And you have MOS also in the PMO, right? So they work under the Prime Minister only. So Mamata Banerjee was wrong. So let us see the history of CBI. History. It had come into existence under Special Police Establishment Act. Under Special Police Establishment Act in 1941. Special Police Establishment Act 1941 to investigate. Special Police Establishment Act 1941 to investigate. Special Police Establishment Act 1941 to investigate corruption and bribery. Corruption and bribery in the War and Supply Department of India. In the War and Supply Department of India. Right? in the War and Supply Department of India. In 1946, it was transferred to Home Ministry under Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Its jurisdiction was also extended. Its jurisdiction was also extended to cover. Its jurisdiction was also extended to cover all departments of Government of India. To cover all departments of Government of India and all the states and union territories. And all states and union territories with the consent of state governments. With the consent of state governments. Right? It also investigates crimes such as terrorism, kidnapping and murders. Kidnapping and murders. It is headed by a director. It is headed by a director. An IPS officer with the rank of DGP, Director General of Police. And then this Special Police Establishment Act was amended in 2013. It was amended in 2013 through Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act. Through Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act. Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act. And the director was given a fixed term of 2 years. Fixed term of 2 years that can be extended by 3 more years. That can be extended by 3 more years. In November 2013, Guwahati High Court. In November 2013, Guwahati High Court. Guwahati High Court ruled that CBI is unconstitutional. Right? But this judgment was stayed by Supreme Court. Guwahati High Court has ruled that CBI is unconstitutional. It does not have any constitutional status, but this judgment was stayed by Supreme Court. So what is the present status of CBI? That is what you write. CBI is neither a constitutional body. It is neither a constitutional body nor a statutory body. This is what we have discussed. In the Government of India, we talk about 3 different types of organizations: constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, and those that have been established with executive order. So that is what you write. CBI derives its powers. CBI derives its powers from. It derives its powers from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Delhi Special Police Powers Act 1946. Right. Next, CBI director is appointed by a CBI director is appointed by an appointment committee. His director is appointed by an appointment committee consisting of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, PM, LOP in Lok Sabha, and Chief Justice of India, CJI. Right? The committee can consider the views of outgoing director. The committee will consider the views of outgoing director. Right? Right. In recent times, many state governments have withdrawn. Many state governments have withdrawn general consent given to CBI. General consent given to CBI. 9 states have withdrawn. 9 states have withdrawn general consent given to CBI. States like Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Kerala, Jharkhand, and Punjab. And the last state to withdraw the consent was Meghalaya. And the last state to withdraw the consent was Meghalaya. Right? CBI is exempted from RTI. CBI is exempted from RTI, Right to Information Act. Right? Is exempted from RTI. In 2013, Supreme Court criticized CBI. In 2013, Supreme Court criticized CBI as a caged parrot. Caged, CAGAD, PARROT, parrot, speaking in its master's voice. Speaking in its master's voice. Right? Its functioning has been criticized for excessive political interference. Excessive political interference. Excessive political interference. Right? Right. I think we can stop it here for today, and we will continue. What are the controversies and what are the latest right examples? We will see them, and we can continue with our public-private partnerships. I think all of you have got some material also. As usual, I'll just come back in whatever it may be. All right.